Anyone who's watched Berserk knows the debate. Was Griffith wrong, or was he right? But here's a thought: what if Griffith was never wrong from the very beginning? A bit mind-boggling, right? Today, I'm going to discuss this very topic, sharing what I know. So, let's jump right into the video. Griffith's character and dreams. Before we talk about whether Griffith was right or wrong, we need to understand his mindset and dreams within the world of Berserk. Miura's creation of Griffith's character. Miura actually based Griffith on real historical figures, often called conquerors of the world, like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. Alexander and Julius Caesar were heroes who fought and won countless battles for their dreams, and Griffith is portrayed in Berserk as someone who would do anything for his dream and ambition. On top of that, Miura infused Griffith with noble honor, a captivating charm, and godlike beauty. At the beginning of the story, Miura carefully cultivated Griffith as an admirable figure, someone steadfast and brave enough to be relied upon for anything. But then, during the eclipse, he intentionally manipulated the audience's emotions, leaving them conflicted, unsure whether to keep loving him or to hate him. That's why we all liked Griffith before the eclipse, but after it, we hated him. If you think about it, making an audience love a character and then turning them into someone despicable, all while handling it in a way that truly resonates with fans, is no easy feat. Griffith's conviction and true nature. Griffith is a visionary. Everything he does is a calculated move to bring him closer to his dream. As everyone knows, Griffith's dream is to rule kingdoms and become an emperor. His dream goes beyond being a mere king. To briefly explain the difference, a king rules one country, while an emperor rules multiple countries and wants to claim everything as his own. Griffith once told Princess Charlotte, "If I can achieve my dream, I will step over my comrades if I have to." This reveals his true nature, the savage desires hidden beneath his beautiful, innocent exterior. Behind his masks, he's a true narcissist. He constantly exploits those who love and respect him, using them as tools and then casting them aside. How manipulative is he? He always used Casca's unrequited love and emotions as a weakness, and he only ever viewed the band of the Hulk as his weapons. This is his true character and mindset. On the other hand, many see him as beautiful and a great leader. They see him as someone who is always one step ahead of his rivals and enemies in battle, winning every fight he engages in. He's also cunning in his speech, and most people don't know his true intentions. If Guts represents freedom, Griffith represents someone who will do anything for his ambition in Berserk. Why Griffith did nothing wrong. So, why do some Griffith fans defend him? It's because he has never betrayed his objective or his dream from the beginning, through the middle, and even now. This is mostly true. Griffith made it very clear what he wanted to be and do from the very start of the story. The only thing he didn't reveal was how he would achieve his dream. As everyone knows, his path to his dream involved stepping over his comrades, not achieving it solely through his own efforts. Another point is that Griffith didn't live his life solely by his own desires. Since he was a child, he dreamt of one day reaching that castle. It's not uncommon for an ordinary person to have such a dream. In that era, it wasn't easy for commoners to even get close to the royal palace, let alone live inside it. Royal blood and commoners simply didn't mix. So, Griffith's childhood dream was the kind of dream any child, any person, would have, because if you reached the palace, you wouldn't have to worry about food and could get whatever you wanted. However, an old fortune teller, who was actually Ubik in disguise, gave this child with such a dream a necklace, implying it would bring him good luck. Frankly, anyone, whether it's me or you, would take an amulet that's supposed to bring good luck, so this isn't Griffith's fault either. In reality, Griffith is a human chosen by the idea of evil through what's called causality. That's why the behelit given to Griffith was a crimson behelit, unlike others. He unknowingly accepted the destiny orchestrated by the idea of evil, believing the behelit would bring him good luck. In fact, it can be said that because of the behelit, Griffith succeeded in many matters without much difficulty. In summary, Griffith was honest about his dream. What he wasn't honest about was his treatment of his comrades and those who loved him, whom he trampled. He lost his soul in the process, and he'll never be as pure as the Griffith Guts first met. Even after being reborn as Femto, Griffith is now godlike in power, so he's no longer the old Griffith. He's now conquering kingdoms for his dream and is quite successful. According to the latest manga, he even took Casca away from Guts again. Even though she repeatedly refused him, he couldn't stand to see her happy with Guts. The Griffith did nothing wrong sentiment often stems from fans wanting to tease Guts fans. If you truly accept Griffith did nothing wrong, then you're normalizing raping Casca, cruelly treating his friend's lover in front of his friend, and being with Princess Charlotte purely for his own emotional gain, without loving her. Therefore, aside from his honesty about his dream, everything Griffith has done since the eclipse is simply wrong. Hopefully, this has given you something to think about regarding the Griffith did nothing wrong perspective, or Griffith's actions in general. You might have different opinions than mine, so if you want to discuss or share anything, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. That's all for today's video. See you in the next one.